Pressure, plays it towards Jones, and I think the referee's going to sound his whistle. Is he? No, he's not. The ball carries on with Alexander-Arnold, and a tackle by Bernardo Silva, and I think it's fitting that Bernardo Silva makes the final contribution of the first half with a very timely tackle on Alexander-Arnold. Yes, the half belongs to a goal from the incredible scoring feats of Erling Haaland, but Bernardo Silva has epitomised City today. He's been everywhere, all over the pitch, and although he wasn't involved in the goal that separates the sides, that was an assist from Nathan Ake. He's been outstanding. City have been the better side, and they edge it at half-time here at the Etihad Stadium by 1-0. Well, let's go back to the studio where we can join Carl.
Welcome back to Matchday Live, where we are live from the Etihad Stadium, and at half-time in our fixture against Liverpool, it's Manchester City 1, Liverpool 0. Big Steve with me in the studio, Charlie Adam and David James. Charlie, I'm going to come to you first for your assessment of those first 45 minutes. Great first half.
Yeah, listen, there was after an international break, a lot of lads flying everywhere. It was good intensity to the game, and again, you know, we always knew that Man City were going to dominate the ball, and Liverpool would be dangerous on the counter-attack, and at times, you know, Man City overplayed, risk and reward at times with Ederson and that, but, you know, they're open to a counter-attack, and if Liverpool had been a little bit more clinical and took the opportunity, they might have had a couple of chances, but again, I think Man City they've been in control of the match really in terms of on the ball and what they're trying to do, and they get the goal from, you know, a situation where Alisson tried to kick it quickly, and he tried to set up a counter-attack for Mo Salah, and ultimately got the kick wrong. Yeah, we will come to the key moments in the game in just a second. David, though, I just wondered from a City's point of view, Pep, I'm sure, will be going in there very happy with what he's seen from his team there in the first half.
Yeah, I think there's a high level of respect from both teams for the opposition, and in that sense, yes, Pep will be very happy. But like Charlie said, I mean, there's been moments where misplaced passes could have ended up in the back of the net. One did, in City's favour, but I think he'll be aware that Liverpool are better in the second half away from home than they are in the first half. This game is nowhere near finished, and as long as they keep those little areas tight, then there's the opportunity to get 3 points. So I'm sure he's happier than Jurgen Klopp at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Steve, it's interesting. I don't think it's not been quite as basketball-like as, say, the game at Stamford Bridge, but it still had that feeling of it where, you know, I don't feel like we've been totally solid at the back, and as I say, I think something goes maybe a bit more in Liverpool's favour. They could have had the ball in the back of the net, so very open, but obviously buzzing to be 1-0 in front.
Yeah, no, it was an open game there, first half. Like the lads were saying there, it's risk and reward. We're pressing high up the pitch. They are trying to get us on the counter-attack a few times. We've done well to keep Mo Salah quiet. He was a danger man before the game. But I think City have edged it the first half. I think we're playing really, really well. I think Jeremy Doku, like we said, he's causing all sorts of trouble. There's no end product from him at the minute, you know what I mean? He's getting the pace, he's running at the full-back. But for me, Bernardo Silva, a special mention there. He was popping up in the little pockets and between the lines, and I don't think they can control him there. And yeah, I'm a happy man.
It's his work rate and energy, though, as well, Steve, for me as well. Thinking in them first 20 minutes, there was about 3 tackles that were all in. There was a bit where he lost the ball. I think he started behind 2 City players, and he was the first on the press. You can't understate what that gives the team with his pressing and energy. We miss it when it's not there.
He leads by example. I think you've got a play like that in your midfield, and you're in midfield, he automatically makes you up your level, you know what I mean? And looking at the boys in midfield there, we talked about the midfield battle, but I think City will be happy. Rodri's coming deep for the ball, them little quick spin-offs, 1-2s, and getting us out of trouble. There has been a couple of times where we've been crowded by Liverpool and we've made a few mistakes, but we've rolled our luck a little bit, and listen, I'm happy to go in at half-time 1-0.
Couldn't agree more. From the Liverpool point of view, Charlie, obviously, as we say, it's been a very tight midfield battle, very well contested, small margins for me. I asked about Curtis Jones at the start, and I thought he's had a brilliant half. He's done well, haven't they?
Listen, that midfield will cause you problems if you allow them time and space. I think Man City have nullified them, and they're always dangerous about Man City in terms of if you jump too early, they'll pick you off too quickly, and at times Bernardo Silva's done that. But again, from the goalkeeper Ederson, he wraps it into a pocket where, you know, you see Bernardo Silva just flicking out to Doku and things like that, and that's just awareness and understanding where you are on the pitch. So yeah, listen, midfield battle in the Premier League is where you can really get an advantage of the game, and Man City are a team that will cause you problems in terms of the way they build up and trying to get the two players in the pocket and going there. But again, Liverpool, they're still in the game. It's 1-0. There is opportunities there. Nearly at the end there, could have nicked a goal as well with chances. So you've got to be aware, because Núñez will run in behind and Diaz has got to be organised. At times when Akanji walks into midfield, he looks uncomfortable in there. And you have to try and get round him and suffocate him as much as you can. And that's the trigger for Liverpool. When Akanji comes into midfield, if they can oppress Akanji and get the ball and steal it from then you can get runs from off that position.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate just how easy John Stones makes that look.
It does. It's a difficult position, especially a centre-back walking in there. But Stones is very comfortable on the ball, and Akanji's the one that at the moment is trying to do that for City.
David, before the goal, there was I think Liverpool had that first chance. I mean, I think it ended up we ended up getting a free kick, but a cracking little Ederson save there earlier on. And just actually a word on Ederson, because obviously his shot stopping this season already I think has been great, but did that, and then his distribution as well has been key this out.
Well, that was actually his second chance of the game, after Ali had given Foden the first chance. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because you've got Brazil's number one on current form, who's Ali, making the error for Foden's chance, then the error with the clearance which leads to the goal, and Eddie, who's had two real actions with regards to making saves. As you say, the header was a lovely save. The one at the end I thought was good, because Szoboszlai's hit a shot which didn't look like a shot.
Yes.
And for the goalkeeper not to read the shot, having to make the sort of comeback and clearance. But as Charlie said, I mean, the big difference in this first half was the distribution.
Yes.
Eddie's flicking balls out left. Yeah. He's drilling them in down the middle. I think the players that are receiving them, Bernardo Silva's a joke, because the ball's in what you think is an uncomfortable position. He stretches his leg up, brings it down. Yeah, and I think that's the confidence that they've got in Ederson. The save side of it, I think, of course, I think he's a top goalkeeper. But today, distribution's a difference. Eddie's on the plus marks. Ali, unfortunately, hasn't been.
Yeah. How difficult is that for the midfielders? Charlie, when you have got a keeper that can, if you try and
think of Esme Begovic drilling one into you on the halfway line.
Yeah,
but you try and you move up and kind of put the pressure, but you can dink him behind.
Exactly.
And then
and that's what I'm saying. If you don't get your distances right, realistically, the centre backs can jump to the 8 position, to the pockets. But again, if they jump there, then space in behind to then, like you've seen there, Bernardo Silva. Ederson plays a ball at Bernardo Silva. The centre back tries to jump. He flicks it on. All of a sudden, Doc is 1v1 against Trent Alexander-Arnold. So there's cat and mouse. You've got to play cat and mouse. If you don't get your distances right, this Man City team can pick you off. Well, the top teams will pick you off, no problem. But again, Alisson's wrapping into midfield. He can play in central midfield.
Yeah.
He's that good with the ball at his feet. But when you've got that extra player like that in there, you play it into him one time. He's playing it around corners. As a central midfielder, McAllister's wondering, right, where do I go? Do I go to Bernardo Silva? If I go to him, who's running in off the back of me? Phil Foden's trying to come in the back of the other side of me in opposite pockets. So it's just so much going on, and tactically it's been aware. But when you've got a goalkeeper that can distribute it like that, that's the key principle and core of what Man City are trying to do.
Yeah, I think what's interesting in this is that Eddie has safe places to play the ball. So he'll pop it out there, and then you say Bernardo Silva in there, it might be Phil Foden on the right hand side. Whereas Ali tries to find people. Yeah. And that's the big difference. He's actually trying to find Mo Salah rather than knock it into a safe space.
Yeah.
And he mishits the ball. All of a sudden everyone's sort of running to where that should be, rather than thinking we know where it's going to go. If there is any failure, we've already got numbers around it. Like you said, little flicks, little controls, sucks Liverpool players in, one pass, 2 players are out of the game.
Yeah, some from Bernardo Silva.
It's beautiful to watch.
It's been a joke. Steve, let's talk about the goal then. It was the big man who we're wondering, is he going to start? Picked up a little bit of a knock, but he soon showed that he's feeling all right. Talk us through it. It was beautiful.
No, it was a great goal. He's made some fantastic runs this half, and we've been a little bit frustrated here, saying, I should have found him in that. But then when they did find him, he only needs that chance, and he finished it. You know what I mean? Maybe the goalkeeper could have done better, but that's what he's there for. I just had a feeling before the game that he might be the difference today. The game's not over, but first half, his work rate as well. really, really good. I've seen him drop deep a few times, win the ball back. He's not letting himself get frustrated. He is making them runs, but he's not like sulking or anything. He's turning back round. He's getting back involved in the game, and listen, he's doing well. And at the minute, that front three, Foden, Doku, and Haaland, they look dangerous. Yes. Second half, we've just got to make sure we finish this game off now.
It's interesting, isn't it? Though you'd maybe think the assist was going to come from Doku. I mean, a couple of times he's been so close to getting the assist, but Nathan Ake.
Brilliant.
I mean, I want to say first of all as well. I think defensively he's been brilliant with Salah, but the assist to take them 3 plays out of the game was beautiful.
I don't think the Liverpool players expected it. He brought it down. I think they're expecting Nathan Ake to pop it off. He's seen the gap in between them and he's gone through it. But he's had a fantastic half, you know what I mean? Mo Salah's got through a couple of times, but he's been very tight to him. He's not let him have any space on the ball. He's blocked a few attempted passes from him, and he's just really staying close to him. There's a couple of times, like you say, Liverpool have tried to get us on the counter-attack, but Nathan's always made sure he's been in and around Mo and not too far away from him. So second half's got to do the same.
Absolutely. Right, before we start looking towards the second half, let's get to our mystery blue. So we've been giving you clues throughout the show. You've had 2 already. We need to give you clue number 3. We'll be revealing the answer at 4 times, so you'll have to come back to find out who it is. Let's remind us of those clues, though. Clue number 1 was this. This mystery blue played for 7 different clubs in the Premier League, scoring 81 Premier League goals. 7 different clubs, 81 Premier League goals. Clue number 2. This mystery blue has played with one of our guests today, Big Steve. And clue number 3, final clue. This mystery blue is now the assistant. Manager to another former City legend at a Premier League club. Was that your?
He was your teammate,
Craig Bellamy.
Yeah. And there we go.
Your teammate, not mine.
None of us thought it.
I thought it was Nicholas Anelka.
Yeah, and then the one we were trying to work out in the studio before was
I thought it was James
Milner. And how many did we get to? We got to 6. 6 Premier League
As
clubs.
we did with Anelka.
Yeah, there we go. Craig Bellamy is said there by Charles. And now, what is he like as an assistant manager, you think, for Vinny?
Brilliant. I shared the dressing room with him obviously for 1 year at Liverpool, and I knew that he had a standard and how he trained and discipline in terms of what, and I was quite understanding when I was going in as coach. I was like, how's he going to be? But he's been phenomenal, top coach as well. Yeah. You know, really good in the grass, good with the players, and wants to make the players better, and that's the important bit as a staff. So we see what Craig's all about. He has a standard and he has expectations of the players and what they should do, and that being able to be at the top level. But you know, as a coach and helping me as a young coach, he's been brilliant for me.
Fantastic stuff, brilliant players. I remember that Derby game as well.
When Old Trafford.
That he single-handedly
cuts inside and he top corner, went up beauty.
Right, looking to the second half then. What do you think Pep might be saying to his players and maybe tweaking where obviously we have maybe a couple of loose passes, David? What do you think might just kind of shift a little bit?
It's interesting. Liverpool, I felt, changed the way they approached that after the goal, because they weren't really pressing. There was a couple of times Curtis Jones went on his own, but it was almost like we're going to sit back and you've got to beat us. Once a goal was scored, then all of a sudden there became the press. So it stands to reason that Jurgen's going to ask Liverpool to get that ball back. So Pep's conversation would be, we'll let them press and then we'll just play around it. I can't see any personnel changes because this game is too close at the moment. If there was a second goal for City, then you might see someone. But at the moment, just basically more the same. I know it sounds really cliche. More the same without the mistakes.
Yeah. Basically,
which is easy. Football's a really easy game.
Simple, as Pep says, it's a simple game. Charlie, from a Liverpool point of view, I know you mentioned that maybe the Akanji trigger could be one thing for Liverpool to look at. Anything else you've seen maybe that they might?
Well, I think Trent's got to get closer to Doku. He's allowing him time and space to get momentum and running at him. Or Mo Salah's got to come and help him track him back the pitch. You've got to try and double up on Doku if you can. And then, you know, McAllister's got to come over and close that gap, because you don't want Matip coming out in the wide areas. So he's got to plug that little area. If Trent comes out and there's a space there, McAllister's got to be in and around that area where they can see runners from midfield as well. So yeah, more of that. But again, can Liverpool, when they do win it, they've got to try and find their own teammate and get up the pitch a little bit better than they are.
I think there'll be a substitution. I think Diaz will come on. And I think whether it's now at half-time for Jota, because Jota hasn't really been doing too much. And you need Nunez's pace and you need Mo Salah, because Mo Salah hardly ever comes off. So, and again, if Diaz comes on, Pep's going to have a conversation he's not going to beat Walker for pace, but he has skill which can take players on. So,
and I guess maybe Steve looking from it maybe into the game a little bit. Is there anyone on the bench you're thinking maybe Pep might look to bring on if should they need it?
Well, it depends. Like I say, it depends how it goes this second half. More of the same, and we don't have to touch it, but we've got a strong bench, you know what I mean? We have got a strong bench, so there's people on there. We can bring on different scenarios in the game, but at the minute, I'm happy with the way we're going.
Lovely stuff. Gents, thank you so much. Right, come join us at full time. It's currently Manchester City 1, Liverpool 0, 45 minutes still to play. Great to see John Stones as well back on the bench. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to my guests. See you at full time. Come on, City.